Pharmacy with Dr. Dre.
Pharmacy, baby.
Yeah.
And guess what we are doing today?
What's that?
We are going into Dr. Dre's vault.
Baby,
Man.
let's do that.
I'm not gonna lie, when we first started the show, this is one of the things I anticipated. Like, yo, we're gonna hear songs that we've never heard before. So we're opening it up just a little bit. It's like the Disney vault. Just
It's a crack. We cracking it open.
It's cracked open.
Now, Dre, I've worked with you for many years, and I've seen you produce a lot of records.
Yeah.
Man.
And a lot of these records are masterpieces. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for that, man. Appreciate it.
To us, we hear them, but then there's this point where everybody's kind of like got their fingers crossed and looking at each other, and it's that decision. Does it go inside the vault or does it come out?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Okay, this is what it is.
How do you make that decision?
Exactly.
It's just about how I'm feeling about the song, how I'm feeling about the project, how I'm feeling about the particular artist that I'm working with.
Nice.
And some of these records are for sale, but I gotta tell you, I'm a true recording artist. And most of the records that I do and most of the recording that I do is not for the public. I'm a true hardcore recording artist, and I just like working on music. I like recording records, and some of the stuff that I work on is supposed to come out. It is for sale, but like I said, the majority of it, it's not for sale.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I like to be in the studio with recording artists that feel the same, you know? We're just gonna come in and work on records. We might go through 5 or 6 songs before we say, listen, okay, this is the one that should go on the album.
Wow.
But those other songs are just for our personal enjoyment. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. And I know a lot of people get frustrated with that, especially if you've been in the studio and you've heard some of the stuff I was working on, but
This is amazing.
I've heard records that I was like, yo, this is going to blast people's faces off.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it's like Dre will say, nah.
no, but it's just for us. But it's just for us
I
to
get it.
enjoy.
I get it. I
You know what I
get
mean?
it. Now that I hear you say that, I get it. Yeah.
If you're a recording artist or if you're any type of artist,
Right.
everything isn't for sale, man.
True.
So I got a question, because you have a diehard fan base. You ever foresee a time, because on this show today, we're going to open the vault a little bit and give you some of those songs you haven't heard before
Right.
that are masterpieces that have never been released. Do you ever see in the future potentially you releasing an album called The Vault
Maybe
of unreleased
so.
tracks?
Maybe so. There was one song that actually played earlier in the show. It was I think it was the second song that played in the show.
Shout
It's
out to
called
JT.
Naked.
Yeah.
Shout out to JT. Shout out to Siege Monstrosity.
Yeah.
What up, Siege? What up? What up?
Just us.
But yeah, it depends on the moment.
Okay.
Right.
I actually have a couple of songs that I was working on that didn't make the album that works for T.I.'s album. T.I. came out to the beach house.
I was there.
You know what I mean? He came out and he rocked over this joint. He was like, yo, bro, I need that. You know what I mean? I'm like, take that. It works for you, you know?
Right.
So yeah, man, that's just how I get down.
Man, this man has nuclear weapons in that bitch.
Man, it's so much music. You're talking about, 25 plus years
Yeah.
of music that's been stashed. You know what I mean? And I stay in the studio grinding. So
Yeah, you do.
it's a tremendous amount of music. There's a lot of artists that I've worked with. Some have come out, some didn't. But like I said, it's an extreme amount of music. It's hot. It's hot music, and it's just sitting there, and I'm just waiting for the opportunity to maybe put some of it out, maybe let the public hear it, and maybe let some of my friends just enjoy some of the things that they haven't been able to hear. But that's just how I get down, man. That's all it is. You feel me?
Hey, but I got a kind of serious question.
Okay.
Dre, you're not involved in social media much. You don't.
Not really, man. You know what? It's just like I respect it and I appreciate it and I think it's brilliant. You know what I mean? But it's not for me. I don't think it's for everybody because I'm such a private person. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't need anybody to know what I'm doing and where I am at all times and all that. Which is a matter of fact, I'm anti that. I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing at all times and what have you. But like I said, I really respect that. You feel me?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that use that social media to their advantage as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the opposite of what
yeah.
Dre's saying. It's like they have to be, taking picture when they're eating, when they're drinking, when they're going to the bathroom. 24
Literally.
hours a day. It's like the
Right.
Truman Show.
Right.
Yeah, but some people use that as a benefit, but for some people that can be detrimental too. And I think sometimes we have too much access to our
Right.
favorite artists.
Yeah. So how much access is too much access? What do you want to see and what do you don't want to see from your favorite artists on social media?
I think it depends on the artist.
True.
I think for the Kardashians, it works. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right,
because
right,
it just
right,
like
right.
helped them become the big brand that they are, and I respect their brand because
Right.
they have been able to come out and do some hustling ass shit. That,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
yo, you know what I mean? It's
Real
crazy.
talk.
I respect their hustle.
Right.
Keeping it all the way 100.
Right.
But for me, I don't need anybody in my life like that, just like that close to me, or being able to see what I'm doing on a daily. It's like I like the mystique that I have right now. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, I respect it and I understand it.
All right, yeah, definitely, man.
Let me tweet a picture of you saying that right now.
Stop playing, fool. Stop playing, man.
But I think there is something to that mystique because artists
Right.
back in the day before there was social media, we looked at them, we put them on this pedestal like the rock stars. Whereas
Right.
now we feel like we almost know these people and they're
Yeah.
accessible to us. And every now and then you'll get somebody that baits someone on Twitter and they'll bite. And I think that
Right.
could be a hindrance to your career when you do that. And
Right.
artists do that all the time. So
Yeah.
what would you say to people like that being in the business for so long, Ash?
Well, honestly, I wish there was a button that you can push on your computer to taser people through the internet.
You really need to be able to change to the computer
on that.
cowards.
The cowards, yeah.
The computer
Ooh,
cowards.
computer
I think whoever
cowards.
invents that is going to make $1 bazillion.
Oh,
because
man.
Yeah.
I want that installed. Yeah.
The internet has provided every coward on the planet to be able to have a
Yo.
voice. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
It's a
Yeah.
soapbox for people
It's
who
crazy.
in any other circumstance would
Haters.
not be even
Yeah,
paid
you can
attention.
just
No one
sit
would
in
be
your
listening to
room
them.
behind your computer and
Right.
just hate on anybody
Yeah.
you want
Right.
without any conflict or anything
Right.
coming back at you or
Right.
any
That's terrible.
repercussions, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
And the worst part that I see is when the artist actually reacts to the negative comments. The people,
They
I'm just a
shouldn't.
fan. I'm a fan. Oh, I just, and they feel like they won, which don't react. Artists
Right.
don't
Yeah,
react.
sometimes you just have to
No.
step
Yeah.
away from the computer. You know?
100%.
But then there's a flip side of that too, because as an artist, we only pay attention. If you could have like 75,000 comments that say
Right.
something positive, you hone in and look at the one negative comment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. It's like
the nerve of them.
we as artists got to look at the bigger picture, the brighter picture, take the higher road,
Right.
and
True
realize that these people are just out here trying to get some attention.
Man,
You
we
know
gotta
what I'm
find
That's
that
the
one
sad
motherfucker
part.
and
Yeah.
kick his ass.
Come on.
Let's
Let's
jump
find
him.
him. Let's put him in the
jump
trunk. Put him in the trunk.
saying? Yo, somebody.
I know a guy.
You feel me?
Now, has anyone at the table actually approached it like, yo, I went too far on social media? Has anyone done that? Like,
No.
anybody?
No, I stopped sending out pics. Like, this whole marriage thing, cut that out,
Got in the way.
Yeah, marriage has the ability to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, game over.
But I'm still sending them. So, hey, we're going into the vote.
The Pharmacy.
It's The Pharmacy with Dr. Dre. And I'm excited because this episode right here is all about the vault.
Yes.
Now, YN, Exhibit, you guys have both worked with producers before as well as Dr. Dre.
For sure,
Yes.
for
What do you
sure.
think the biggest difference is between those producers and working with Dre?
Immediately, the first thing I think of is the fact that he hears things that I don't think other people are hearing when you're recording with the X. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's not the same sort of a feel when you're working with other producers. His ears are
appreciate
like,
that.
no, man, your ears are retarded.
for
yo.
those who
It's funny is y'all talking about me like I'm not sick.
No,
Family.
Notice I'm not looking at you in your eyes.
What's going on? It's like it's starting to feel funny.
The artists that have recorded together, we all collectively say that there is a Dr. Dre school of recording.
I don't
Come
know if you
on.
getting ready to go there.
Yes. No, man, it's
starting
true.
to feel weird.
There is a certain standard that Dr. Dre holds everybody to, that when
Yeah.
we get in that booth, I mean, there is no room for mistakes. You got to get in, you got to knock it down, you got to be crisp, you got to be clean, you got to be on top of what you're doing, and you got to be involved and really excited about what you're doing in order to rise to that standard. And I think everybody that's recorded with him understands that when you do rise to these standards, that the outcome, the music, it lasts forever. You know what I'm saying? And it's undeniable. So if you graduate from the Dr. Dre School of Recording, you're doing something right. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.